It's time to give away some of our golden buttons. This is something that we
Yeah.
give away every week to community members who are getting involved in cool stuff on OnTableTop.com. So they might be doing something cool in the forums or something cool in the project system. And this week we're going to kick off with King Thorgrim's Dwarf. I was going to say Dwarf Thong, but it's not quite as interesting as a Dwarf Thong.
Images.
It's a Dwarf Throng.
Yeah.
This is by Tanath.
Yeah, so this is by Tanath, who has been putting something up in the painting forums. I will point out this week is basically Oldhammer week, so everything is themed after Oldhammer. So just bear that in mind.
I love it. It's Bugman and his Rangers. It's the old miniatures.
So this is an absolutely amazing project that he's been. Well, this isn't a project at the moment. It's only in the forums at this point. But I'd love to see him move it over to the projects and show off some of the techniques. That would be really fantastic. Anyway. This is him building an army for Warhammer 5th edition, so he can play it with his friends. He's got, as you can see there, the unit of giant and demon slayers there that are leading the way for King Thorgrim from Kazakh Akarak, which is really cool. He's done Bugman's Rangers, as Sam was saying there too, and he's actually pulled miniatures from different ranges as well. So he's actually been painting up the Norse dwarves in that final picture from Warmonger miniatures, which is really neat too. And obviously all of these build together into that kind of Oldhammer style feeling that we've been seeing popping up and has been quite popular recently as well. We actually talked about this a little bit on the hobby hangout this week, where we were looking at some of the projects that some people were doing, and in particular this project too, which was really neat to see. Going back to the whole sort of idea of what he's been doing here, I love the painting for these guys. It's showing off some really nice new techniques mixed in with old models. So, you know, really showing them, bringing the really finer details of these pieces to life. One of the important things about painting any kind of dwarf is obviously that the beard takes up most of his body.
Yep.
And there is some absolutely impressive painting going to the beard, especially when you look at the Bugman's Rangers. If you look particularly at the champion of that unit and Bugman himself, he has done a sterling job doing the nice sort of mixing and the highlighting there to bring those to the fore. Because as we know with Games Workshop dwarves, they don't have any knees, and most of their body is belly and beard. So, but yeah, some really fantastic looking models.
Congratulations, Tanath. What a well-deserved golden button there. Next up, we have Piers.
Yeah, so Piers has been delving back into the sort of annals of history with some more Citadel models and things from further afield as well. Now, obviously, Piers does miniatures that are normally from a historical background, but he also enjoys himself a little bit of Oldhammer as well. He was actually one of the people that showed me off towards the Oldhammer forums that exist out there on the internet, which is really cool. But yes, this is him painting a couple of different warbands that he's going to be using in games of Wartime and stuff. And so leading things off, we've got like the Ostlander Empire troops there, which are really fantastic, moving through to two different Chaos Warbands as well. And once again, it's looking at these models that are very old. They're back from the annals of history before sculpting had come on a little ways, as we can see now, but using new techniques and painting them in interesting and different ways. Also going back to bases and not painting them in Goblin Green, and instead going for something a little bit different as well. That was really cool. One of the key models from this sort of set that I wanted to pick out in particular was the Khorne warrior in the armor in the second image there.
Yes.
I loved the way that had been done for that sort of wolf helm with the bronze tip. And it almost has this nice golden and almost not golden, but bloody sheen to it, which I thought was really nice. So it was really good to see that coming together. And of course, looking beyond the kind of models that you'd normally see in these kind of warbands, and maybe picking out things that maybe you would have seen in the fringes of a Chaos Codex or a Chaos Army book, for example. That's sort of strange demons that you would have seen written around the edges of the Wartime rulebook and stuff, which is really cool. So yeah, another little fantastic project showing off some really nice stuff. And one of the big things about what Piers does as well is he actually has amazing photography. So if you want to learn a bit more about sort of taking pictures of models, go and check out what Piers does, maybe ask him some questions, and he'll be able to fill you in on some of the ways that he gets them looking as good as he does here.
Absolutely. And then sticking with our final one of the theme of Oldhammer, it's time for some Rogue Trader. We've got the Crimson Fists here by Kuras.
Yeah, so this is going back in time to not just Warhammer Fantasy, but also Warhammer 40,000.
Wow.
And painting up some really old school Crimson Fist, as you can see here, back when proportions didn't really matter.
When have they ever?
I suppose that's true in this heroic age we're in. But yeah, these are absolutely fantastic looking models here. Once again, going with some really amazing paint schemes. I love all the freehand work that's gone into these models as well. Adding that next level of character that we like to see in Space Marines, because they could very, very easily turn into like this faceless mass of armor and skulls, basically. But it's been really good seeing him working on the filigree and all that kind of thing, and the sort of writing across the armor and the sort of tenets and oaths that they swore.
It's a
themselves.
beautiful paint job, isn't it?
And especially when you see the end of that rocket launcher going for that old school style that we used to see in the White Dwarf magazines, where Space Marines decided it was cool to paint flames on the end of their rocket launcher.
Yeah.
But some really cool looking stuff here from Kuras. Once again, really fantastic photography showing off what he can do here as well. And go and dive into his project in a little bit more detail. You'll see some more of the stuff he's been working on. It's not just Rogue Trader, he's also been working on some old Hammer stuff as well, which is really cool, and obviously over in the forums too. So another amazing little old Hammer project, and a challenge that again Justin was talking about on the hobby hangout this weekend too, where he was saying maybe go back into your sort of those annals of history and go back into those shoe boxes you've maybe got, stored in the attic somewhere. Get out one of those old Hammer models, strip the paint off it. That's probably like 4 layers thick.
Yeah.
Have another go. See what it looks like. That could be a really interesting.
And the old stuff strips because it's all metal.
Oh yeah.
I have a very power spray and you're done.
I have an entire Dwarf Slayer army from back when the Storm of Chaos World campaign was done.
Yeah.
I really want to dig it out now. I had all the
cool.
characters. This makes me want to go and find those models again.
There's something really charming about the sculpts from that era. It really is.
But it's seeing those new techniques being laid down on them. The difference in paint and skill for everybody these days is so much different from back then.
It's just a lot easier to do these days. Well, congratulations to all of our golden button winners. It is absolutely our favorite part of the week to have a look through and dish out the golden buttons. It's brilliant.